Yeah, I mean, I agree, but like it's a PvP event, but these are all really good Pokemon. Like just in general, I think outside of a couple of standouts, they have uses. There's multiple uses for some of them. Machop is obviously a standout. Ralts for Mega Gardevoir, Mega Glade. That's those are the kind of Poliwag because you need a
Poliwrath for
Poliwrath
your rocket. Yeah,
for your rockets.
I was waiting for you to say it this whole time.
hey, all I'm saying is that Moo backed me up. Moo
It's
backed
true.
me up.
It's true. And if you've been validated on an opinion about Pokemon Go from Moo, then you're golden.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
A visual update invites you to rediscover the world around you.
Be sure to stop by the beach for sun, fun, and a new Pokemon, and more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 279, almost 280, Kyle. Oh my gosh. It's April 23rd. It's a blessed Tuesday back home in our wheelhouse on the Tuesday recording time. It's wow, it feels rare these days. We got to point it out. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, are you feeling rediscovered this week?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, that could be for any number of reasons.
Not enough experience yet.
Oh, true.
Only a little bit.
Wait, do you mean actual XP or like experience playing the game after the update?
Both.
Oh,
spoilers.
All right. Well, why don't we explore that a little bit more through the lens of our goals we set last week? We had Bellsprout Community Day over the weekend, which meant Stardust and Shiny Bellsprout, among other things. And our goals reflected that event happening. So you had set 3 for yourself, Mr. Kyle, the first of which was 5 Shiny Bellsprout. Did you manage to catch Cinco?
No.
How many did you?
This is going to be a very fun juxtaposition to Chris's answers here. I caught 4, and I have only a mild excuse.
Okay.
I wasn't planning on playing the day very much, anyways. Like it just didn't interest me too much. The original plan was I was just going to go drive around because it was like 40 degrees outside and let the plus catch stuff. Well, about like 20 minutes into the day, it just stopped connecting to my phone.
Oh,
like just full stop. And like I tried to unpair it and I was not able to repair it. And I'm like, all right, I give up on this. I threw it in the back seat and I just kind of caught and drove around until I was bored, which was about an hour.
That's pretty good.
And that was about it. And I have not gone back to the plus yet to try and get it to pair with my phone.
Gosh, I wonder what happened. Maybe there was a forced. No, you would have had to. No, you play with your hands, so you'd have to have done that. I don't know.
I think it'll be fine when I go back to it. But for whatever reason, you know how when it's not paired and you press the button, it lights up. But when it is paired and you press the button, it does a little zzz.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't paired, and it was still doing the zzz with the vibration.
Oh.
And nothing I could do would reset it. But finally, like moving far enough away from my car, I think may have fully unpaired it because I pushed the button when I was on my way to work or whatever, and it just lit up. And I'm like, all right, we'll fix this later.
Yeah, because you're not using Pokemon Sleep, right? That you removed that from your phone? Yeah, because sometimes when I have it paired for like my sleep log, and then if I don't close Pokemon Go all the way, it'll still be paired to sleep. If I don't close sleep all the way before I go to play Go, it won't let go of it until I close Pokemon Sleep entirely, and then it connects to Go. It's bizarre. So that wasn't that problem. It must have just been a Bluetooth related thing then.
Yeah, it was definitely a Bluetooth problem.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but 4 is still pretty good. In an hour, considering you really dislike CarPlay.
Yeah, it's not enjoyable. It was cold, man. It was so cold compared to what we had. I was not happy.
It was mighty cold. That's for
have
sure.
One like today. It's so nice outside today.
It's not gonna be in a couple of hours though.
I'm not trying on. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but earlier today it was really nice. We've had some wind, but it's been beautiful besides. Yeah. Oh, geez. Oh, man, we almost got through our intro without a Chicago weather update, and here we are anyway. All right, so one shy of your goal for shiny, but did you get 300,000 experience?
I did do that.
Okay. And then 300,000 Stardust? Question mark?
I did not do that.
Yeah, I probably have to do a little bit more than that for Community Day, huh?
Yeah, well, I wasn't catching a lot during Community Day because I was driving, so it was mostly shiny checking and then catching when I didn't have any more to click while I went to the next place.
Okay. All right, so that is 1 out of 3 for you. Finally, you had a bad week, Kyle. You've been on a tear with your good weeks, and I don't know if that's because you're a better goal setter than I am. And by that I mean obtainable goals.
I don't know. I've been doing some pretty okay goals the last few weeks. This week was faltering though. That's for sure.
For sure. But all the same, got your XP, and that's kind of what matters at the end of the day. So for myself, I had also set 3 goals. My first one was my shiny count. Kyle did me a favor by setting his really low, so I got to just simply double it and say 10 shiny Bellsprout, because I wasn't really intending on playing the entire event because it's not all that exciting. And I already had 3 shiny Bellsprout and all that good stuff. I figured, hey, I'll play for an hour, maybe hour and a half, get a good chunk of Stardust, at least 10 shinies if I'm going hard, and then I'll be done. So that's not what happened. What happened was I ended up playing the entire event front to back because I accidentally had the best grind session I've ever really had during a Community Day, both in luck and in just amount of Pokemon caught. Over the course of the Community Day, I caught 1,033 Bellsprout. I caught 42 shiny Bellsprout. And I generated 436,946 Stardust. So just shy of 500,000, just shy, really. So it was spectacular. So I absolutely killed it. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It just kind of felt good. And it was definitely the dopamine from all the shinies because it was effortless. After the first hour, I sent a message to Kyle and he's like, I think I'm done or something like that. And I was like, well, I got 20 shinies already at the end of the first hour. So let's see how this goes. But yeah, so 10 shiny Bellsprout certainly did do that. Did I hatch 50 eggs? I think I hatched 51, if I remember. So yes, and then 17.5 million Stardust on hand. I've actually, I think I'm 50K short of 18 million right now. So I'm gonna hit that goal sooner than all that, which is good because now I have to balance this out. Kyle, I have to admit to you and in front of everybody hearing me say this. Remember how I caught that Shundo and that Hundo Bagon for Bagon Community Day?
Yep.
You know what I forgot to do? Evolve it for the move. So this week I'm like, oh, I need to set a new best buddy. Oh, that's right. I should do that Shundo Bagon and then get the Mega Ball rolling too. And then I realized it was still a Bagon. I'm like, uh-oh, I've made a huge mistake. I don't want to waste a TM on this. So it's just sitting there and it's not powered up because I want to keep my 500,000 Stardust for now. But they're waiting. So 3 out of 3 for yours truly, which is a rarity in and of itself. So we're happy about that. Okay, we've got 3 pieces of news. One is actually 2 of them are rather fresh, or they should be by the time you're hearing this. And then the first one is yet another update. The visual one. So let's hop right into it. Yo, what up? It's the news. Okay, we're going to cover the the elephant in the room, which is this Rediscover Go bit. And this is kind of 2-part to this one update. First is this visual update that we all have now. It should be live for you as well, which includes an update to the overworld map. And more importantly, an update to the catch screen. This update did not include the avatar update, so don't bundle it in there. And when we talk about it, we also won't bundle it in. Yes, exactly. Very separate. But this also introduced this Kanto event that started yesterday. And this started yesterday, the 22nd at 10 a.m. and it's running until Thursday, May 9th at 8 p.m. PDT. It is a long event.
2 weeks. More than 2 weeks.
Yes, it is. It is very long. But before we get to the details about that, just a quick little bit here that they had written about the Rediscover the World, i.e. the visual update. Feel more immersed in the world of Pokemon Go more than ever before with a whole new look. Check out these refreshed visuals by exploring biomes, which are environments where you can find certain Pokemon. Pokemon originally discovered in the Kanto region will appear in specific biomes, although they have been known to appear outside of these biomes during certain Pokemon Go seasons or special events. Work with other trainers to find as many biome types as you can. So there's two notable things here. First of all, they actually said the word biomes, which has not been a thing in official communication from them. Yeah, ever. They've been habitats. You might be thinking, oh, yes, they have. No, they've said habitats for live events. But biomes specifically means the subsections in the overworld and how that affects what you're seeing spawning in those areas. The second part about this is them essentially saying that there's going to be particular Kanto Pokemon just completely rooted to some of these biomes. Like they're going to be bread and butter is what I'm getting from this. And that the other Pokemon will be filling in on top. I don't know, Kyle, do you read this in another way?
I mean, I did read it and get a little confused because it's a strange way of wording it. Are they saying that only these Kanto Pokemon are affected by the biomes? Or are they saying that these Kanto Pokemon are specific to biomes, but other Pokemon are also specific to those biomes? Do you know what I mean?
The way that they're saying it here makes me think, to answer your question, that it is Kanto region Pokemon are going to be more linearly related to these biomes, and there is more wiggle room with other Pokemon spawns.
So like full stop, you think?
That's what I'm getting from this. Yeah.
So like my thought process is when I read this, if Pidgey's in the spawn pool, Pidgey's only going to show up in forests. So we're going to pick terms here because the community hasn't decided on anything, I'm sure. But if there's let's just say a Wurmple also spawning in the same event, same season, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not going to be tied to forest and it can just spawn kind of anywhere in the same way that it worked before this. Is that how you're thinking?
I don't know, though, because this middle part that says, although they have been known to appear outside of these biomes during certain Go seasons or special events, and seasons kind of indicates a base spawn pool level, right? I think they mean that there is going to be Kanto Pokemon always, regardless of what is said. And if they are also mentioned in an event, they will also appear other places.
Okay. It's kind of restricting.
It's just like a baseline Pokemon spawns. They're just like, yeah, Kanto's going to be there all the time, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, and we can have feelings about that, but we'll get there. One last thing here. This wasn't included in this blog post, but it is a news point here. Reports have been coming in that Wiglett and Wugtrio have made their debut in the beach biome, with Wiglett appearing near bodies of water. You don't actually have to be standing at a beach with sand between your toes necessarily for this to count. People have reported them being around like lakes and stuff too. So it might just be body of water, whatever beach biome means to your game. So Wiglett and Wugtrio, we'll talk more about them later. If you're like, what? Diglett? No. Wiglett. Very different. Very different. But let's talk about this Kanto event, which is running for forever or until May 9th at 8 p.m. PDT. Event bonuses will be seeing increased experience for our 7-day Pokesup spin and Pokemon catch streaks. Friendship levels will increase faster than normal through opening gifts, trading Pokemon, or battling together in raids, gyms, or trainer battles. And there will be an increased chance to encounter shiny Bulbasaur, shiny Charmander, and shiny Squirtle in their respective biomes. Featured attacks, you can evolve Venusaur, Charizard, or Blastoise during this event, or into them, rather, and they will know their featured Community Day charged attacks, which in order is Frenzy Plant, Blast, Burn, and Hydro Cannon. They are the best moves on these Pokemon. So if you've been having a hundo Ivysaur you've been sitting on, make sure you evolve it during this time to get that for free and not waste an Elite TM. Field research task rewards. There will be event-themed field research tasks available, and you can get Mega Energy for Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise from these tasks, which is great. And then lastly, special research will be available to all trainers for free, beginning with the Rediscover Kanto event. Trainers who complete these special research will earn items, experience, Stardust, and encounters with event-themed Pokemon. I believe it is 7 steps long, 7 pages, something like that. I've been working on it, and I am on... Oh, it's 5. I'm on 3 right now.
Where... Oh, it's... Yeah, no. I'm still on the first one, but that's because I haven't played since they've went live, really.
It requires you to do stuff like earn hearts with your buddy, catch Kanto Pokemon, use berries. It's pretty basic
hearts
fare.
With your buddy.
I would never. Exactly. Arts earned with your favorite Gengar. Yeah. So what do you think about this Kanto event? It does seem kind of thin, but that's good because it's long.
It's kind of strange. First off, it's being used for mere Wiglett and Wugtrio, which is very funny.
Yeah.
It's not a Kanto Pokemon.
No. It's not even a regional form of a Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that it's kind of thin. There's not really a lot here. And like that's fine. I don't know. I'm tired of the shiny starters so often. I know they're really popular. I get it. But like that's the only thing that's here. Like that's it. Evolving them into their signature move is very good. But
yeah, and I mean the bonuses are nice too if you're trying to get friendship up for people and stuff, and the increased shiny chance is cool even if you have 1 million, I guess.
I mean the double friendship for 2 weeks is pretty great. Like that's a lot of hearts you can gain for that.
Yep.
Yeah, really it's fine. I mean it didn't need to be 2 weeks long, which is kind of the crazy part here. It's kind of tying into the whole biomes launching, which is really cool. Like we can talk about that here too, that it looks really, really good.
Yes.
Like it looks fantastic. I don't want to claw my eyes out looking at the overworld right now. And it wasn't even a huge change. And then when you're catching a Pokemon, it's great. It's good.
The catch screens in particular are beautiful.
Now I only seen 2 of the catch screens myself because that's all that is around me. So, but I've seen pictures of other ones.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of other ones that are expressing different seasons around the world, and they look very, very cool.
Oh, okay.
Very, very cool. Yeah, there's different. The plants and stuff look different based on seasonality and location, which is
I just
cool.
pray, and this is asking an awful lot from Niantic. I pray they design this in such a way that it is some kind of modular system that they can actually update and change when they want to without having to change the whole thing.
I'm sure that somebody is going to be taking all these screenshots and probably deducing what their system is. Maybe not entirely, but getting close. And that would be awfully cool.
Look, all I'm saying is that if we come around to winter, or no, come around to Halloween, because that'll be first, and we just get pumpkins on top of this grass, I'm going to be very disappointed because you put in all this work. Don't just put an asset right on top of it. That's all.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be okay with more pumpkins and stuff.
I want the pumpkins. I just don't want it to look like a JPEG that they put on top of the screen like it did last year. You know,
it's low res too, and everything doesn't match. Just like
and the Pokemon sometimes go behind it. Like
Oh, it would be mighty cool. I think there is some occlusion on from like the grasses and stuff for some of these Pokemon, like the foreground.
Sometimes the grass is like slightly above their feet and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like if they've put it in such a way when we go to GoFest, it's not going to be little things underneath each Pokestop. It'll be the background of the Pokemon when you catch it.
Yeah,
and like that's a huge thing that like they have the opportunity to see here if they've done this correctly. So that's why I'm looking forward to it. I don't have my hopes high, but I like what we have currently. It is a positive.
Yeah. Always good to check your hopes at the door, you know? Yeah, no, the visual update looks really cool. And we had our thoughts on Kanto. So, but we've got some more news, and this is not Kanto related. Neither of them are really. So that's pretty cool. Diancie enters a spotlight in special research available to all trainers. Research story, Glitz and Glam will be available to all trainers for free starting May 1st at 10 a.m. local time. Trainers who complete the special research will earn an encounter with the mythical Pokemon Diancie. Yeah. And it's not going to expire, so do it at your own pace. So this is more just like a heads up that you're going to be getting it. We already knew that we were going to be getting this because this has been the pattern with the other legendaries in the past, or other mythicals in the past that were featured at GoFests. So this is just more of like an FYI post, and sharing the date when it's going to go live. Nothing really to say, honestly, about this.
Took a little while, but
yeah. There's also going to be Diancie themed field research Wednesday, May 1st at 12 a.m. to Friday, May 3rd at 11:59 p.m. local time, where you can spin photo discs at Pokestops and get these field tasks. Are going to be event related, right? Themed, as they say. Complete the tasks to earn Diancie Mega Energy and encounters with Carbink. So Mega Energy and Carbink Candy and Candy XL is kind of what they mean there. So there's that. It'll help you support your new Diancie. Yep. Our last piece of news is a pretty cool event, Rivals Week, which is going to be running from Saturday, May 4th at 10 a.m. to Thursday, May 9th at 8 p.m. local time. Event bonuses include 10 times experience from spinning photo discs at gyms. So not Pokestops and gyms, just gyms. Keep that in mind. 2 times catch candy and an increased chance to encounter shiny Zangoose, Seviper, Throw, Sawk, Heatmore, and Durant. The wild encounter pool will include Alolan Sandshrew, Mankey, Poliwag, Machop, Gligar, Ralts, Lickitung, and Galarian Stunfisk. Additionally, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the following days, you're going to be getting a fun pairing of Pokemon. And these 3 pairs reflect the Pokemon that have the shiny encounter boost as well. So from May 4th through the 6th, you'll be seeing Zangoose and Seviper in the wild. May 6th through the 8th will be Throw and Sawk. And then May 8th through the 10th will be Heatmore and Durant. Kind of following this in raids, 1-star raids, we'll see Mankey, Teddy, Ursa, Swinub, and Jangmo-O. But in 3-star raids, depending on if it's the May 4th through the 6th or the 6th through the 8th, right, you'll be seeing those same pairings during the same times that are outlined in the wild encounters in 3-star raids. So if you want to target them and get good IVs, you can also do that. And it looks like they're not going to delineate between wild encounter or an encounter in a gym for the shiny boost. So it should be, according to the language here, it should be increased chance for both, which is good. Field research task encounters include Alolan Sandshrew, Mankey, Poliwag, Lickitung, Gligar, Ralts, and Galarian Stunfisk. There's going to be timed research, complete tasks to earn experience, rare candy, fast TMs, and encounters with event-themed Pokemon. And then the real event here, I guess, that's nested is the Go Battle Weekend, right? It leads up to this. Saturday, May 4th at 12 a.m. to Sunday, May 5th at 11:59 p.m. local time. The bonuses additionally for that period will be 4-time Stardust from win rewards. Does not include the end of set rewards, just the individual wins. The maximum number of sets you can play per day will be increased from 5 to 20. It's a total of 100 battles. We've seen this before. It's a whole heck of a lot of battling. Free battle-themed research, timed research, I should add, will be available. Rewards include the avatar item Hala style sandals. And that's like the Kahuna Hala from Alola, not like Hala for $1. That's a different thing entirely. Paid time to research for $1. Complete the research tasks to earn Stardust, 1-star piece, 3 rare candies, and 3 rare candy XL for $1. That's not bad, really. The 3 rare candy XL is great. And there's going to be showcases. Woohoo. Okay. All right. So I'm kind of dying to hear what you think about this, Kyle, because for the first time personally in a while, this is a PvP event that looks like it really actually has something that appeals to non-PvP players, with this shiny chase, with the unique pairings on the 2-day periods, right? Things like that. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but like it's a PvP event, but these are all really good Pokemon. Like just in general, I think outside of a couple of standouts, they have uses. There's multiple uses for some of them. Machop is obviously a standout. Ralts for Mega Gardevoir, Mega Glade. That's those are the kind of Poliwag because you need a
Poliwrath for
Poliwrath
your rocket. Yeah.
for your rockets. Hey.
I was waiting for you to say it this whole time.
hey, all I'm saying is that Moo backed me up.
It's true. It's true. And if you've been validated on an opinion about Pokemon Go from Moo, then you're golden.
Moo's done like, I don't know, 10,000 grunts or more. So I'm sure that's on the low end.
I'm sure it's 1 million by now, right? Something like that.
Awesome. But I don't know. I think first it's really nice to get the kind of shake up of the rival Pokemon. Seviper, Zangoose, Sockthrow, and Heatmore and Durant. It hasn't happened very often that you have easy access to multiples of them. So I'm excited. Maybe I can finally get the shiny Sock and shiny Durant that I need.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I go battle weekends, whatever, for me personally. But it's nice to see, especially because it's just more opportunity for people to play.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure Fish and DeFi will talk about this on PvP Corner a bit. But yeah, definitely to the PvE players like you and myself, Kyle, we like this. We like to see a shiny chance in the wild that coincides with an event that is largely about a weekend for battling. This is neat. And something else to mention here, I know you said that they're not normally available, or they're usually uncommon or whatever the case might be, but these Pokemon are also like regional.
No, that's what I meant. I meant like having the opportunity to catch the other one.
Oh yeah.
Not like we see. I mean, I at least see throws all the time, but
yeah. But to be explicitly clear, these Pokemon are technically regionals, hemispherical, right? Yeah.
East west, right? Yeah, I think it's east west, not north south.
Something like that. Yeah. So, catch those Pokemon, especially if you're newer. This is a great opportunity to catch them outside of events, because as we move forward, these filler Pokemon will start to only show up in capacities like this, where it's a little bit of flavor, And
it's noteworthy, especially for the newer players. I think the only one of those 6 that is really noteworthy at all is Zangoose. Like, Zangoose has play in PvP. I don't think the other 5 really, like, basically at all.
Not that I know.
I can be corrected, obviously, but I've seen Zangoose actively, and I've basically never seen any of these.
Yeah. I would love to see Durant rise to the top, but unfortunately, no. Unfortunately. So yeah, there's that. Remarkably shorter news section than last week, that's for sure. But lots of cool stuff coming up, and good luck with your battle weekend if you choose to participate. Otherwise, shiny vibes for all the fun wild Pokemon. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick little break here. We're going to be passing over Gear Up this week, which means that when we come back, it will be time for Pokélore, and this will be a fun one.
So for this week's Pokélore, we're going to talk about Wiglett and Wugtrio, the garden eel Pokemon. Wiglett is a long white Pokemon that seems to be perpetually buried within the earth, leaving only its head and part of its body visible. It has beady, dark blue eyes and a large, round, pink nose. Although Wiglett has a stated Pokedex height, it is unknown how long it really is underneath the sand, or what the rest of its body looks like. Pokemon scientists really be slacking with
honestly
entries like this. Come on.
I wish the mysteries of our world were as easy as just shoveling 3 feet under the surface.
Wiglett lives in beaches and seas, where it burrows into beach sand. It pokes part of its body out of the ground to feed. Wiglett has an exceptional sense of smell, which has a range of over 60 feet, 20 meters.
Wow.
Wiglett is a timid and cautious Pokemon, probably because of its sense of smell.
Yeah.
It hides in the sand when it picks up the scents of other Pokemon, so there you go, such as Veluza nearby. Some researchers initially mistook Wiglett for the Paldean form of Diglett due to their physical resemblance, but they are separate species and differ in habitat and diet. It is theorized that the two species ended up having similar body plans as an adaptation to suit their environments and burrowing behavior. Wugtrio is a long, red, three-bodied fish Pokemon that lives in a black, spiky rock. Each body has a head with beady, dark blue eyes and a large, round, white nose. Only Wugtrio's heads and parts of its body are seen. It is unknown what the rest of its body looks like under the rock. Inside the rock. Wugtrio makes its habitat on coastlines and hides within its rock when spotted by humans. It is considered a particularly aggressive Pokemon species, wrapping its three bodies around prey and dragging them down to its lair.
Whoa.
It was originally thought to be a regional form of Dugtrio, but this has since been disproven. Wugtrio is the only known Pokemon capable of learning the move Triple Dive. As for stats, not good.
No.
Not good at all.
Not great.
Max CP at level 40 of 1895, at level 50 of 2142. It's a stamina of 111, defense of 136, and 205 attack. That 205 attack is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, it certainly is. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. The best moveset, Water Gun with Dig and Surf. I don't probably use this Pokemon mostly for anything in Go. That's kind of about it. Don't do it. It's not good.
Yeah, what one would think that since it makes its home in a rock and part of its deal is that it retreats into its rock, that it would have more defensive capabilities, but it does not.
Its base stats in the main game are so bad too. Like 425 base stat total is awful.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah. What do you think of Wiglett and Wugtrio?
Oh, I think they're delightful outside of trying to use them for a practical thing, right? I mean, they're great. They're fun. They're lovely. I like the, you thought it'd be a regional form, but it's not. Like, I love that game they played with us. What I don't like is how much it reminds me of the Kezu from Monster Hunter, because I don't like that monster at all.
Glad you said that, because I love Kezu.
I know you do.
I love him.
Every time we were hunting those things, I was cringing and you were elated. But outside of that, I mean, I think it's fun. It's cute. It's got a good design. The naming is hilarious. And it's just creative. So I'm a big fan. But yes, I won't be using it to raid anything anytime soon. Once I find one, I don't like the beach, so we'll see how long it takes me to actually get one.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to get one. Not going to lie, where I live.
Yeah, do you have like a lake?
There's Lake Arlington. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to count like for what I needed to count for, but that's probably my best bet in terms of large bodies of water.
Yeah, you could go check it out, because I was about to say I don't think the small bodies of water at Arbor Theater are going to do the trick.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Ponds. I need to know what the background has to look like.
Yeah, who knows?
Does it have to have the sand? Because if it has to have the sand, I'm in a lot of trouble.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need sand in real life. It could just.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about like seeing it. Like I see a little water in the background near my apartment, but that's not. I don't know what biome that is.
I don't know either. Well, you'll have to do some field research.
I hate field research.
Okay, but I meant like IRL field research, you know? Yeah.
I'm kind of mid on Wiglett. I think it has an amazing name. I think Wiglett and Wugtrio is so good.
Wugtrio, when it was revealed, everybody collectively laughed.
It's so funny. That's kind of about it. I think it's okay. It's hard for me to like this a lot when the other Convergent Evolution Pokemon is like 1,000 times better. When we get Toad's Cool and Toad's Cruel in this game, oh, I'm so ready.
Yeah.
They're if you haven't seen them, if you haven't played Scarlet and Violet, it's so good. It's Tentacool, but it walks instead of swims.
It's great. It's great. And because of that, some of the best art made of those Pokemon just running. Too funny.
Yep. And they made it completely useless by giving it an ability that is only negative and not positive. It's very sad. It was I had a very bad time using it in my playthrough.
Oh, you used it? Oh,
I did.
Boy.
It was on my team the whole time, and it was not good. I don't know how you're supposed to use that Pokemon.
Like we said earlier, Kyle, always good to check your hope at the door.
Yeah. That's a Wiglett and Wugtrio then.
Yeah, no, it's a cool Pokemon, that's for sure. The only one more thing, the only thing I don't like about it is that it's described as a long red 3-bodied fish Pokemon for Wugtrio, when it's described as a long white worm type thing at the beginning, as a Wiglett. I like to think of these as worms and not fish.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
No, I mean, I guess an eel is technically like mythologically a fish.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I mean, sure, it's water type. Whatever. I guess
it is monotype too. That's a good thing to call out. And before we move on, speaking of ecology, shout out to Maxitron, who helped clarify about the burrowing owls. They do not dig their own burrows. They adapt other burrows from other burrowing animals in real life. And they can also be found in other real life biomes besides deserts. They can also just be in open flatlands and other things. So.
Also, shout out to both Maxitron and Triptando for calling out the moose Pokemon that actually exists now from Scarlet and Violet. It's Tinglu, the one of the legendary beasts that got added.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be a bull, but it does look rather moose-like, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Fair enough. I thought it was a bull because I thought it was correlated with a zodiac.
We're gonna take a quick side note because its Bulbapedia entry says it's a cloven hoof mammal such as a deer or a moose.
Okay, that's
we take Bulbapedia's word as the Bible.
we do
around here.
We do. Archaic. Thank you. Yes.
All right, we're gonna move on to PokéPoll though.
Okay.
Last week's question was, which starter Pokemon are your most and least favorite? First response is from Artemis Dragon. And they said, fellas, the gloves are coming off. I cannot believe y'all are hating on Chikorita. It's such an amazing design. Who hurt you? Just look at its progression as it evolves. The necklace-like formation around its neck turns into a flower in full bloom when fully evolved. And it turns into an amazing-looking Brontosaurus as its final form. Who doesn't like Brontos? A crime against Chikorita is a crime against Meganium. Take it back. Also, Chikorita is hardcore. Just tap on one and just watch how it just rocks out as if it were at a concert. I'm not even metal and it gets me hyped. Chespin I can see because it just seems too human-like, which is a little weird. But Chikorita, not even close. Lastly, this was a tough PokéPoll because there aren't really bad-looking base form starters to me. Not even for Galar or Paldea. Which makes me feel like this should have been more about the first stage evolutions. Quilladin for sure would take the cake. It takes the whole bakery. Timpole vibes, anyone?
Yeah,
I mean, Quilladin's bad. Now, I'm just going to say, I think the concept behind Chikorita is great. I just think the execution is a little bland. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I also think it's overrated. People that really like Chikorita can't articulate why they like Chikorita other than, oh, it's cute. I'm like, yeah, well, get in line behind the other Pokemon. Well, I mean, I don't
know. Artemis Dragon said looks like a Brontosaurus, which, I mean, it is a Brontosaurus. That's kind of the thing.
I know. But I'm talking about the average Chikorita enjoyer, you know?
Yeah. I need more from the Brontosaurus. Like,
yeah.
Maybe it says something about me. If me when I was seven years old, when Gen 2 came out, 8 years old, whatever that was, doesn't look at it and think Brontosaurus, because I didn't, then you did not succeed with your design.
Now, Amaris looks like a Brontosaurus.
Amaris looks like a Brontosaurus.
Yeah. Look, it has nailed that dinosaur look. But yeah, I didn't get dinosaur from Meganium either. So
I know it's supposed to be. I'm not saying it's not supposed to be. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that I think its design didn't hit the what's the word I'm looking for? Hit the target? Sure, we'll
Mark?
get that. Mark? There you go. That's the word my brain couldn't remember. Mark. We're gonna move on now. Next response from Trent. They said, my favorite? It's a hard 3-way tie between Cyndaquil, Bulbasaur, and Rowlet. Cyndaquil for always being my first in a game I could understand. Bulbasaur just because I always thought Ashes was cool, and it's great.
Yeah.
Rowlet is just an amazing little owl, and we need more owl Pokemon, in my opinion. Least favorite? Probably Oshawott or Chimchar. To me, they're just there.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people being like, yeah, Chimchar and me.
I like Chimchar. I mean, like, I know it gets the bad rap because of the firefighting, but I feel like it's one of the ones that actually, like, at least works as a firefighting type.
It does.
Emboar makes no sense. Why is that firefighting?
Because it had to be firefighting because it made everybody upset.
But there's no question going from Blaziken to Infernape was a downgrade. It is definitely a downgrade.
But Blaziken is an all-star Pokemon design.
Yeah, absolutely. Blaziken,
it's hard.
Top tier.
I feel bad saying Infernape isn't good because Blaziken is incredible.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, but I thought Chimchar got a bad rap because of the fire fart thing. Not because of Infernape.
What?
Yeah, it expels gas that's flammable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the lore. Here, keep going. I'm gonna pull up the exact quote.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I will agree with Oshawott, although I think Oshawott's better than Piplup. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion.
Oh, I disagree with you.
I don't know. I like Oshawott. It's kind of cute. I'm gonna read the next one though, because it's from Max Tron. They said top 3 favorite starters: Charmander the OG, Torchic that carried me through high school while everyone was on Black and White and X and Y, and Rowlet for being there on the other side when I finally caught up.
Nice.
Top 3 least favorite: Tepig, because I don't like how mild its name is. That's good. And how it doesn't get better by the time it's fully evolved. Chespin, because of the nightmare it becomes. And honestly, I don't have a third here. I generally don't like the Unova starters, though.
Yeah, I feel like saying that you don't feel great about a generation is a common thing. Some people just like, it does not click.
Yeah, it's a shame. Unova has great Pokemon. Their starters are definitely the weaker side of it, though.
Okay. I did find it really quick before I move on to the next one here. Chimchar. Its rear has a small round red patch that is usually obscured by flames produced by burning gas in its stomach. These flames cannot be put out by rain, although they go out when Chimchar goes to sleep and burn weakly when it feels ill. In the past, this flame on its rear has caused people to mistake it for an apparition, dubbed the Lantern Tail.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And then
fire farts.
Flameless Chimchar. Note the no flame.
Yep.
On the Bulbapedia page. Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I guess it also goes from being an ape to being a monkey, because it doesn't have a tail and then it has a tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fail.
I don't know. There's a ton of evolutionary lines that do stuff like that. That just like bulk ecology in general.
But like, it's a monkey. Why you got to change it? Like, is it a monkey or is it not a monkey? I don't know. Hang on. What's its name? Hang on. It's the chimp Pokemon.
Yeah, and I feel like it's.
But
I mean, Infernape is absolutely a Wukong reference.
Yeah. Oh wow, Monferno and Infernape have terrible categories. Monferno is the playful Pokemon. Infernape is the flame Pokemon. Okay.
Flame Pokemon? Wow.
We're gonna move on. That's just bad.
That's disappointing.
Next one is from Kitty Rambles via Twitter/X. Can never not say that. Fave is obviously Turtwig. Cute, adorable, turtle inspired. Torterra is so cool. Least favorite is Chimchar. I just think it lacks compared to other starters. We have much better monkey-inspired Pokemon. Yeah, that's a fair statement. I will agree with that.
I agree. Yep. Oh, yeah, here we go. Exactly. Great candidate, Kitty said. Least favorite's Chimchar. Yeah, I just saw a bunch of that. It's so strange. Although I don't understand. This is a popular answer. Turtwig is a popular answer for and I just don't understand it. I guess I like turtles, but I don't love Toidles. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I like Turtwig. I do like it. It's not like my top starters, but I'm a fan.
Yeah, good Pokemon. Good Pokemon. And we do have a voicemail response as well. This one is from Sarah Amanda.
Hey GoCast, Sarah Amanda here. So for the PokéPoll question, it's hard for me to pick my most favorite starter, but basically just all the Hoenn starters, because all three of them are just super amazing, and you really can't go wrong with any of them. Trico, Torchic, and Mudkip. Just saying. Foundational Pokemon. Now, the least favorite, that one's a trickier one. Honestly, I think the old me answer would have been the Johto starters, but Pogo has actually breathed newfound fondness into all three of them for me. The boring monotype Chikorita has actually had some moments to shine in Great Lake due to Meganium having access to Earthquake. Really fun to use that against Bastiodon. And then I have at least 3 friends that I know of whose favorite Pokemon is Cyndaquil. So I literally can't hate on Cyndaquil. And also, that was my starter too. So Cyndaquil's cool. And Feraligatr gets a new lease on life due to having access now to Shadow Claw. So wow. Now, so least favorite, maybe it's Chimchar. Because first off, I don't like Gen 4. Because, I think Gibble's existence is just plain rude. But I'm going to stop right there before I derail myself. So anyway, Turtwig and Piplup, they do interesting and fun different type combinations. They were slow. And they're a turtle and a penguin. So, it's fine that they're a bit slow. And normally I go for the fire anyway. And I respect the interesting differences that Piplup and Turtwig bring. But anyway, Chimchar. Chimchar is just, imitation Blaziken. Well, actually, maybe Tepig is my least favorite because, Chimchar is imitation Blaziken, but Tepig is slow boy imitation Blaziken. So that's worse. Wait a minute. I'm going to take that back again. So, my least favorite, it is Scorbunny. Because Scorbunny is just a boring monotype fire. I think that is the very first time in the history of me playing any of the main series Pokemon games that I PC'd my own starter Pokemon because he was just so boring compared to everything else I caught at that point in the game, midway through.
No.
And Scorbunny, so forgettable that I forgot about it, and it took me 2 minutes to get there. That's all. Peace, Sarah Amanda.
Sarah Amanda,
I told you.
You're the best. We love you, but you are so wrong about Scorbunny. No.
There are Scorbunny honey haters out there.
Oh my gosh, dude. Cinderace for days, man. Come on.
So on that note, this raises a question maybe if you remember. Have you ever played through a main playthrough of Pokemon and boxed your starter?
No, never.
Never. Okay.
I have never.
I have once.
Which one was it, pray tell?
Chestnut.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I boxed it. Yeah. I got it. And it's not that I even hated it. I'm just what am I doing with this right now? It's not even helping me. Yeah. And I boxed it shortly after I evolved it too. It was level 38 or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know what it is about.
Say a lot, I suppose.
I don't know what it is about Pokemon, and I'm curious how you feel about this too, Kyle. Is that because I started with the anime, I identify really closely with the idea that you have a partner Pokemon. And of course you have relationships and partnerships and stuff with other Pokemon as well, right? Because you get close to them and they're part of your team and you care about each other. That's the whole point of Pokemon, right? Mm-hmm. But Pikachu was always the ride or die. No matter what happened, Pikachu was always there. And the Pikachu-Ash relationship was the thing that really, it was never about catching them all. It was about that to me. And so I always am when I choose my starter, that's my Pikachu. And my character in that game, me, I just do that. I keep that partner. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The rest of my team has to work around my starter. And whatever my starter doesn't have, right? I could not do that. Go is the only time in a Pokemon game where I think I'm almost positive I transferred my first Pokemon that I caught.
I did. My oldest Pokemon is an Ariados.
But I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, well, So I'll answer your question in a second, but Pokemon Go, weirdly enough, is far more impersonal for everything. Like everything except for like the community aspect of it is very impersonal.
Yeah.
The Pokemon don't actually mean anything in the same way because there's just so many of them.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, I don't have a lot of Pokemon caught, and I still have more than 100,000 Pokemon caught. And that's probably more than tenfold what I've caught in main series games.
Oh, easily more.
Because I mean, I'm not a hardcore grinder and stuff. I don't go for shinies and stuff like that. But still, as for the idea, I think so. I'm mostly in that camp, as evidenced by the fact that I kept Skeledirge in my entire Scarlet and Violet playthrough, despite the fact that I still don't think that's a very good Pokemon, and I don't understand how to use it.
Oh,
but I liked it so much, and it was important to me, so I kept it.
Yeah,
but I am not as I used to be. I'm definitely not opposed to boxing my starter Pokemon if I'm not charmed by it or won over by it.
Yeah, something about like beating the Elite Four and your starter not being there on your team when it was the first Pokemon you got in that game, like, just feels objectively wrong to me. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh. That might be, if we can figure out a way to word that might be a good candidate for a PokéPoll down the line. That's an interesting topic. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of PokéPolls, though, this week's PokéPoll: how do you feel about Kanto-themed events? Are they fun trips down memory lane, or do Kanto spawns feel stale to you? All right, I've got an answer for this one.
Okay, please.
I think Kanto has plenty of potential and good events to be had. I am only tired of seeing events that specifically focus on the 3 starters. An event where Lickitung is spawning more, an event where maybe Kangaskhan is global for the event or something. Like, literally, there's so many actual Pokemon that are still compelling in Kanto to me that are just not the 3 starters. And that's really the only thing for me.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty close to that. I have less I see less clearly the potential in Kanto for fun events and stuff like that. Although when you said like a Lickitung themed event or something else like that, I was like, oh, that would be kind of fun. But to me, like, that sounds fun in the context of also not exclusively being Kanto. Like, if it features Lickitung in an event, if it was other pink Pokemon like they do on Valentine's Day sometimes, like, that appeals to me. I don't care that the spotlight's on a Kanto. To me, it's just like, if it's just Kanto, I'm just like, I have all, I have all
you
these.
Could have Kanto rediscovered, and it could be like Lickitung, Onyx, and I can't actually think of a Pokemon that's actually compelling. I have to go back in my memory.
Yeah. Like
and
Magmar,
Staryu have increased shiny chances.
Staryu.
Like, it can be Kanto. It could be 10 Kanto Pokemon spawning, just different 10. It's always 3 starters, like Zubat, Pidgey, Caterpie, and then pick a couple noteworthy, like Geodude, Scyther, Ghastly only at nighttime, never during the day, and like Jigglypuff. And like that's like what you see during a Kanto event. The Dratini are very rare, and like, even at this point, Dratini is pretty common, but not during Kanto events for whatever reason.
No,
and I'm just like, those are where there's still potential in variety. I just want Kanto events to feel different from each other, because there's still 144 Pokemon that you can use in Kanto, not counting the legendaries and the regionals. So
yeah, and then also not to mention the evolutions that a lot of them got from other generations too that made them relevant, like Steelix. I mean, gosh,
Steelix. Magnemite spawning can be compelling, so people can get stuff for Magnezone, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a good shiny too, even though it's been featured a lot. Like, there's definitely there. It's there. I think the Kanto events they do currently are stale. I will say that.
Yeah, I just feel like the nostalgia factor for me, and this is because we've been playing this game since its release. is the nostalgia's not working on me as much as it used to. I will say what does work on me though is seeing more evolved forms in the wild. It doesn't matter what that Pokemon is. Seeing evolved forms in the wild is always exciting. I love it. I saw a Pidgeot in my yard today. I caught it. Loved it. That was cool. But yeah, I don't know. I guess middle of the road is how I officially feel.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're much more optimistic about this than I am, and that's refreshing. Well, anyway, dear listener, if you have an answer to this week's PokéPoll question, which was, once again, how do you feel about Kanto-themed events? Are they fun trips down memory lane, or do Kanto spawns feel stale to you? You can answer that question when we post it on X at GOCast Podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, yes, please go check out our YouTube channel. We have video versions of the show so you can see Kyle and I. I'm waving right now. Hi. So is Kyle. We're both waving. Isn't that fun? You can see that. Go check that out, and you can leave a comment on that video to respond to this question. You can also see the video version on the Spotify. Well, if you listen through Spotify, and if you're on the mobile app, you can actually interact with the episode directly and answer the question posted there. You can, of course, also leave us an email by sending it to mail@gocastpodcast.com or a voicemail by calling 262-586-7717. And speaking of emails and voicemails, Mr. Kyle, could you let us know where we're at in this episode?
It's time for emails.
Actually, just 2 voicemails.
I lied. I'm sorry. I knew the answer to that question.
Old habits die hard. It wouldn't feel like an episode if you didn't do the jingle, though. So we've got 2 emails, one new and one that I forgot, with apologies to Pepper Is Found. I forgot to play last week. So we're going to play that one first, and then we'll get to our other voicemail after that.
Hello, GoCast Podcast. This is Pepper Is Found, and if I could request any real-life animal to get a Pokemon design, my answer would be the deep-sea anglerfish. For those unfamiliar with this creature by name, I'm sure most of you have seen it before. It is the creepy fish usually depicted with razor-sharp teeth and an underbite. But its most iconic trait is its glowing light dangling above its head to attract prey. Also known as the scary fish from Finding Nemo. We technically have Lantern and Chinchou,
True.
but I would like something a little more on the rough and spooky side. This is also a wonderful opportunity for another gender-locked and varied Pokemon, because you see, every single anglerfish you have ever seen has been female. It was one of the biggest marine biology mysteries. Why is it every time one of these freaks of nature washes up on shore, it's always female? And the answer is that the males look so different that when scientists found them, they were classified as an entirely different species at first. I don't want to ramble too long, so I will say I heavily recommend looking into it if you're a fan of deep-sea creatures and the horror Mother Nature can be. Needless to say, I am obsessed. She is scary, she is gross, and she is something to be feared of. I love my girly pop-coated female-only Pokemon, but I feel like the angler also deserves a seat at the table. I do not apologize for my long voicemail, partly due to some liquid courage, and thank you for letting me have a spot on your podcast.
See, we couldn't not play that.
Yeah.
Good points. I also love that. Yeah, I think the counterpoint would be, Chinchou and Lantern for sure. But you're right. Lantern's more like a dolphin with like an anglerfish.
It's inspired by anglerfish, but it's not an anglerfish.
Yeah. And we definitely do need a mouthful of sharp teeth and some, I'm
so for a regional variant of Lantern that is like evolved to be a predator instead of a kind of friendlier Pokemon that it is. Mm-hmm. Obviously some people are going to be like, oh, but Pokemon doesn't do scary or something. Well, it doesn't have to be scary, but it could be like Sharpedo, Sharpedo's got a bunch of teeth, stuff like that. Veluza's got a bunch of teeth. It's based on a Barracuda. So
Volton Veluzas.
Yeah. So I'm for that. Anglerfish are a wild animal. They really are.
Yeah. We don't belong in the ocean, man.
No,
we really don't.
If you ever need proof that aliens exist, anglerfish and blobfish, they're definitely there. Very
different energy between those two. But yeah, I would also go ahead and say you should go check that out if you're unfamiliar with the anglerfish stuff. We're also not going to spoil it for spoilers, and also I'm sure I'll get half of it wrong again. But it's cool from what I remember. Very, very cool. Thank you for that voicemail, Pepper is found. It was lovely. We've got another one here from Aaron.
Hi, Chris and Kyle. This is Aaron. I called a couple months ago about my wisdom teeth. Well, that's not why I'm calling now, but I just wanted to identify who I am. My wisdom teeth are all healed.
Nice.
Or lack thereof, I suppose. The gums are healed. I wanted to comment on the Avatar update. By the way, I don't know if you can hear me because I'm in my car. But I was less than impressed with the Avatar update. First of all, I consider myself someone who almost exclusively will play a game for the Avatar. Like, when it comes to The Sims, I will create my Sims, but then just, stop the game after that. So I find Avatar creation is, like, the most creative part that I really enjoy in games. I will say there's more to Pokemon Go than Avatar creation, but I was just really disappointed with the update. I think it's great to have more size inclusivity, but I really liked the design of my prior girl. She was more bodacious, so to speak. I mean, I don't want to be like too objectifying when it comes to my avatar, but she kind of like, she slayed. Now she looks very average, and I get that she probably looks more realistic to average standards than that of like an anime cartoon, but I don't know, just a little disappointed. She's not as voluptuous as she once was. Even if I adjust the scale, I just liked her figure better in the previous update. I don't know if that's too much information, but, that's how I felt. So right now, I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. Also with the hair, I like that they added a different hair option for women. The hair can be down, but kind of looks like she was rained on or something. Like, the clipping is also so bad. My last question to you guys, and I could be looking at this to get more information myself, but when it comes to sorting clothes on the screen, how do you identify things that you purchased or that are free to you? Because I have a really hard time going through available options. I don't know how to categorize the avatar items that I own versus the ones that I have to pay for. And I don't know if Niantic is doing that intentionally because they want me to buy something and get frustrated, but I don't know if there's a way to like field that. That's my other complaint. But I don't really even like the clothing options. Even if I'm going to buy one, I can't sort them. Let me know if that makes sense. But for me, I'm disappointed. I think there's room to grow. Also, they need to add like makeup. Like my girl has like foundation lips, and I'm not. Yeah. Anyways, that's enough on that. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for everything. Bye.
Yeah, you know what? I had the exact same thought last week. Was it last week when we were talking about the Avatar update?
Yeah.
When we last talked about the Avatar update. And I was just going through, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to change some clothes, see what happens. I gave up almost immediately because I cannot tell you what I own and don't own in this shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can tell you if I go to look at that specific item, but finding that specific item is awful. The UI of their shop, well, their closet, I guess, is really, really bad.
It only works well with some items, and those are items like the bags, where it really only has like maybe 3 pages or 4 screens long of options. When you start looking at things like footwear, it is just far too many options for you to look at.
Even then, I have to go all the way to the bottom to get to my Gengar backpack. Like,
yes.
How in the world does this not have a sorting option?
Yeah, so the first thing is, Kyle's right, there is no sorting option. The only real way at a glance to tell if you own it or you need to buy it is if not, you see the cost of it underneath it. If there's no cost underneath it, then that indicates you own it or it's free. And if not, I understand that it doesn't actually help you because your question was more about sorting. but that's the way to look at it, at a glance and get that information at least. But the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick about that email, or that voicemail rather, Kyle, was that I saw a lot of people online Also feeling a little cautious to share their feelings that they liked the original model better because yeah, even though the avatar update is not great for some people, they don't like the way they look, you know, the representation thing is a sensitive topic and should be dealt with respectfully. And this was their go at it, right? So we want to celebrate them doing that, even if all of us agree it didn't quite do it for us, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with being happy with what would be considered a traditionally unrealistic physique, because it's not always about that. Kyle, and I know Kyle's shaking his head yes, or nodding his head yes rather, because we both played a lot of MMOs. And if you think either of us looked like our undead characters that we played in World of Warcraft, you're sorely mistaken, because it's not all about that. Sometimes what you identify yourself as, or what you want your character to look at to portray you, is not what you look like in real life. Sometimes you're playing a different character. I know so many people that have characters that are the opposite gender assignment than they are in a traditional setting for a video game, right? Like I have a lot of male friends that play female characters and vice versa. And that doesn't fit into the one explanation either of just feeling more represented in game. And it's hard to do both, but I feel like maybe a toggle would have been good. That's what I saw from people online.
I think my takeaway is that why did it need to change? Like they gave you different body types. They, there's stockier options for men. I haven't actually seen all of the options for women. Why did the default female body type get like hit so hard, especially compared to the male one? Like the male one, I haven't seen a lot of complaints about outside of the fact that like there's been a lot of clipping and clothes issues.
Yeah.
I just like the original female model was not like fantastic. It's not one way or another, but some people liked it. Some people didn't. You just add more. Like that's all we just needed more. It didn't need to be different.
Yeah. Again, we find ourselves having this conversation, Kyle, about how, you just needed to add this in. You didn't need to take away the other thing.
Yeah.
God, this is just
some people want
this time.
To use their wording. Some people want their character to look voluptuous. Some people want their character to look like a stick. When I play Elden Ring, my character is going to look incredibly skinny because it is more entertaining to watch them have really heavy armor on a small frame, for example.
Dude, ain't that the truth? Hilarious.
But like some people want the character to be as thick as possible. And then it's even funnier too. Like it's just an option. And the fact that the female options are so bad right now.
Yep.
Like, and like the faces really do look like they kind of got hit with a baseball bat. Like,
yeah, everybody looks swollen in the cheeks. Everybody,
really weird.
Everybody
really
does.
Weird.
It's odd.
I liked the old models. I liked them. I wanted more customization to those models.
Yeah, if they could have added sliders to those original models, even if we had less of a slide one way or the other, anything would have been good. And the only other reason to overhaul the models would be like, we've solved all clipping, so maybe they look a little bit awkward, but at least all their clothes fit, right? That's not even the case,
Yeah, none of the clothes fit. Or they fit wrong, and now people feel like they spent money for something and they no longer look good in it because the clipping issues, because the weird models. Like
And I will also say I've seen some people post that and their models, and those models look pretty good and they're happy with them. And that's awesome. Super happy for those. But again, I think this could have been solved with the toggle for new or old. It's all the same clothing options. It's not like they had to start over. This isn't a Destiny 2 situation. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? There's still an opportunity for them to roll back or add something or adjust this current one to be, I don't know.
Yeah, my biggest issue is this is the type of stuff that QA is for. Like everybody who looks at this already knows that. So like somebody doing QA would be able to give even better feedback than we can. That's supposed to be their job.
Yeah.
But like we know Zoe gave this feedback like 2 months ago when they got it in Australia for testing.
Yep.
And nothing has changed. The exact same models went live that Zoe got. So it makes you wonder what was who are they listening to in that regard?
I think again, I'm gonna make one more comment about this, and then we're gonna move on to the end of the show. But I sincerely think that people that collect the information are doing it, but I don't think those same people are implementing these changes. And I think that dynamic right there is the cause of any woe that we see, where it doesn't make sense when it comes to Pokemon Go development. Because the people that collect that information and react to people on social media or to content creators or anybody else that has a dialogue publicly or whatever with Niantic, that person validates that opinion. And then that opinion is invalidated by somebody else somewhere up the tree that has a different priority list. And I feel like that, that's how most companies work. But I feel like sometimes you kind of try to meet in the middle. But remember, folks, Niantic is not a game development company. They're into AR and data aggregation and stuff like that. So I don't know. Yeah. Perspective is really important when it comes to conversations about this topic. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But anyway, thanks again, folks, to those of you that send in voicemails and those of you that have sent in emails in the past. We did not have one this week. We actually had one more voicemail, but I could not hear any of it. So if you sent one in and it didn't get played this week, I'm so sorry, but I think you are our lucky or unlucky winner there. So please send in another one if you can, but I couldn't make it anything. So sorry about that. But if you'd like to send us an email, just like these fine folks did not, but others have, you can to mail@gocastpodcast.com. For an voicemail, you can, of course, call our voicemail line, which is 262-586-7717. Visit our website for all things GoCast at GoCastPodcast.com. Follow us on X at GoCastPodcast. If you'd like to help support the show and continue having us do what we do, you can via Patreon. That's patreon.com/GoCast Podcast, where little as $1 a month gets you access to our patron exclusive Discord, which is pretty rad. But we are also supported generously by our elite trainer tier patrons, who Kyle will now give a shout out to.
Shout out to Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin and Mimi, Sports Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Motters, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Stephen, Nick, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, and Sarah Lore.
Thank you so much for all of you for your generous support and for helping us keep the digital lights on, among other things, much like getting us to New York.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Thank you. And if you would like to help support the show non-monetarily for whatever reason, you can by leaving us a review. It really helps out a lot. I cannot understate it. We got one from a guy named John. He must be John. And this review is titled My Favorite. And it says, I've been a faithful listener for over a year. Chris and Kyle are simply great together on the flagship show, which covers the big game news and PvE. PvP Corner, on the same feed, features another pair of authentic and fun hosts, Fish and DeFi, who cover the competitive aspects of the game. It lifts my spirits up every time I see a new episode waiting, knowing that I can listen to them as I play the game for a total Pokemon immersion experience. Both shows maintain a fun and positive vibe, which I really appreciate, but also they will share their thoughts on how things could be even better. Star Piece is the newest addition to the feed, offering a different perspective each episode by interviewing other people in the community. In summation, I highly recommend giving this feed a shot. Go fans. Now that is a proper review and very kind. Thank you so much for writing that, guy named John. We appreciate you, and we're glad to hear that you're enjoying it. So if you'd like a shout out like guy named John just got, please leave us a review. Appreciate you. All right, Mr. Kyle, we got to set some goals and then we are out of here. We've got this Kanto event going on and not a whole lot else until next week for when the other events get going. So what are you looking to do before we record next week?
All right. I want to finish the Kanto research. Hopefully there's nothing funky in there for not being able to complete it. 500k experience, and I want to make sure I get a Wiglett. The Wugtrio I'm not as worried about. Can always use rare candy if I'm sad, but I won't be sad. So 500,000
experience is a lot.
I have at least one best buddy due tomorrow.
Okay.
So
okay. All right. Cool. good luck. I too would like to get the Kanto research finished. I'm getting close. I would also like to catch a Wiglett. That might be more complicated than either of us are considering, but we will succeed or fail on equal terms. And then lastly, actually get that 18 million Stardust on hand. I'm awfully close. For me, it's not going to be acquiring the Stardust that's going to be the challenge. It's going to be not spending it this upcoming week, because I'm getting awfully close to my 20 million mark, and I'm itching to drop a 500,000 on that Shundo.
So I've got a departing comment I have to make, because I didn't make it in the show anywhere. I re-downloaded Campfire. I don't understand that app.
Still don't? No?
I can't find any helpful information.
Really?
If I was a random person who downloaded Campfire because I was told to, I would get nothing out of my experience. I can't find a local community, and I know that they exist. I couldn't find a meetup marked on the map for Community Day, which, like, there's no way it didn't happen somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for someone to play with. The only thing that works, that I understand how it works, is the raid tracker showing me where eggs are, and I'm like, all right, this still works. But like, people posted pictures, so I got a pop-up notification from somebody saying that they tagged a hundo Pokemon that they just caught, and then I opened it up and I couldn't find any information at all. And I'm like, I'm still working on figuring it out. If somebody has any advice, feel free to message on Discord or send an email. I'm sure the info will probably help somebody else with Campfire too. But
I definitely will say I've also had problems where the push notifications do not link to the post in the app, and then once that push notification is gone because I tapped it, I'm lost. I've had that happen to me a lot too. But
there must be better ways to use the app that I'm not fully aware of, because I think people are using it. People not in our circles, but people.
I mean, definitely community ambassadors are using it because it's kind of like base camp for them. But yeah, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll start trying to use it more too, and you and I can go on a journey together of learning how to use Campfire.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll work on that, and I guess we'll see y'all next time. Thanks so much for listening all the way through. Thank you, Kyle, and make sure you guys listen to PvP Corner, Star Piece, and we'll see you next week for episode 280. Bye.
Bye.